Hello there, Flawless family. It is I, Tiara Walker, and thank you so much for coming on back to join me for this episode of Flawless Living Made Simple. Now, if this is your first time joining or you're a returning visitor, I appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, this show is all about me having the pleasure and honor to speak to those that I admire near and far with winning mindsets and getting into what that means to them. So today, I am super honored, okay? First of all, because this young lady is like an enigma for real. It's like, I feel like I know you, but I don't know you. And I love that about you. I love the mystery that surrounds you. I love how every time you pop up, it's only positive, it's only good energy, and it is moving not only you forward, your goals forward, but everybody around you forward. And so I'm honored, so very honored to welcome Queen Taylor. Now looking here, you can see it is she. Thank you, Queen.
Thanks, girl.
Yes. So, like I said, I wanted to have you on the show because of your winning mindset, right? We met a few years ago, and at that time, you had a location in the now defunct Military Circle. And it was such a beautiful place. And the first time I actually walked in there, I didn't meet you first. I met your son. And he was so respectful and so kind and so easy, right? He was like, oh, I get my mama. And right from that point, the very first time we talked, we kind of connected because the energy was there. I told you my company was real estate for the people, and that one of the reasons I came in is because your company was for the people. Tell the people what For the People is.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm very happy to be here. For the People began as a record label in 2016. We started the record label in Portsmouth actually because we were in Atlanta working with different artists in Atlanta, and also working as an artist myself, being in a lot of different music videos, being on different sets in Atlanta, because I started as a rapper and a singer first. So after being in Atlanta for a while, I could see the familiar faces of the people there, meaning the director reminded me of somebody at home. The photographer reminded me of somebody at home, the stylist. So I actually could not sleep, and I thought about bringing all of that back to Virginia. Because I'm like, Atlanta is a big city, but Virginia has the talent too. Yes. It might not be as big or connected as Atlanta, but we still have that same amount of talent, if not more. So me being like for the people already, I decided that if we brought the company back to Virginia, then we could do the same thing that we have seen in Atlanta. From the sound audio engineering school that my husband was going to like all of the sets that I was actually on myself. So I got to see everything firsthand and see that it's really easy to orchestrate. So I decided to come back to Virginia, and when we came back, we started with just doing like music shows and pulling the artists in the community to get on my husband's beats because he was a producer, and then we would pay for their studio time, different artists in the area that we had signed to our label. After working with artists in this area, I noticed that a lot of people's dreams were like dead or non-existent. So I decided to move into the youth, and that's what made me get my store at Military Circle. So Military Circle had those competitive rates over there, and they were looking for Black-owned businesses.
Yes.
So they said,
I miss it. I really do.
I did too, but the leadership was not that well over there at that mall. But they got a lot of us to come over there and open up our dreams there. And I say open up our dreams because we had Easy Work Boxing over there. We had Reach, the bookstore over there, which is also a nonprofit. So these are companies that wanted to work for the people and not just take from the people.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
After being in that mall, I noticed the need in that area. The poverty need was like, it was like high over there, poverty. and the need for what I had was high too. The children needed me more than the adults wanted to spend the money and the time understanding what I spent my money and my time doing. So I decided to start my nonprofit, which is for the youth.
Yes.
And I created a curriculum for the kids and decided that I would get some of my friends to give them knowledge, to pay for them to have clothing, pay for their studio time, pay for their camp times. A lot of the kids that went to the camp at Military Circle went for free. And it was because I decided to let them go for free. I funded them, and then a few people that I know, they funded them as well. And it was easy to do it because that's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
And at that time, I was doing nails, and I had a good amount of money. So it was kind of like, just pay the bills over there. As long as the overhead is good, I'm good.
Right.
Because I wanted to give more than I was taking, because I noticed they didn't have a lot to give. So it went from us having those 2 music studios in the back, the event space in the front, and the store in the very front. It was 3 different spaces in there.
Right.
Because it used to be Wendy's. That's what the older crowd told me, is that corner location. They said that used to be Wendy's, and then it went to be Journeys, and Journeys had thousands of shelves in there that they used to store thousands of shoes on. So we went in there and demolished all of the shelves in the back, and we made it, like I said, a music studio in a glass window, a music studio in the larger space back there. And then we just started running our classes, having people to come over and do music events, having people to come over and do any type of event that they felt like that they could do in our space at that time. But I was just learning over there and growing more aware of who I was becoming, because I was a nail tech for 18 years. So I just decided to kind of
Wait a minute, hold up, wait.
Yeah.
No, we're going to pause. Okay. So first of all, see, this is why I have this show, okay? I get to learn so much about my people. I'm like so excited and so kind of like happy to hear you share this story and this background, because what are you talking about? You did nails for 18 years. I'm like missing something here.
I'm 35.
Okay.
And I started doing nails when I was 16.
Okay.
Turning 17. I lived in the Berkeley area.
Okay.
And they had just got their first shopping center.
Okay.
And the nail salon that was being put in that shopping center was a 23-year-old Asian girl named Kelly. She came from California with her mom.
So dope.
And she was opening up a nail salon.
Okay.
And I was the manager at Zero's next door. I was only 16 years old. And I was their manager because I just always had it like that.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Chris and Mr. Andrew. They were 2 Jamaican guys that came from Jamaica and opened up a Zero's franchise. And they believed in me too, like most people did when I was young. I really always been this way. So a lot of people took me under their wing and kind of like said, you can have whatever you want if you help me get whatever I want.
Right.
So
I mean, that's you know what, that is one of the largest lessons, and one of the strongest beliefs I have is like everything that I do, right? Everything that I do is knowing that the only way to even get close to what I truly want is to help as many people as possible get what they want. However, the master key, though, is to really love that you're given and have no expectation of the outcome, right?
There you go.
It's that part. So it's like, you know, lots of people have heard, if you help people get what they want, you get what you want. But the master key is literally having no expectation of the outcome of what you've given. Once you give it, it's gone. And all you can do is give it with the best love, the right intention, the right care, and the right detail, and then they can do with it as they choose, right? So that is like super freaking dope. And when I said this is crazy a moment ago, I said that because I'm doing these interviews now, right? And I am astounded by the fact that, like, I'm asking leaders and people I admire to come, But then when you sit here and you're telling me your story, it's super inspiring, and I'm hoping that this episode is one of the episodes that we get lots of youth to see, right? Because this is about hearing who you are and what brought you to this point. So for you to say, I've always been like this, there is someone else watching this that is also being sewn into and may not know how to always move because there were challenges along the way outside of yourself because you were so young. People in your peer group, right? People that wanted to do things, and you said, no, I'm going to stick with this because you could see the long term.
Yeah.
What made you be the kind of person from such a young age to now, to the woman you've become and evolved to be able to have an eye on the long term, or was that something you developed?
It's something that I was born with because I got it from God. And then my grandma nurtured it, and my grandfather did too. They both knew that I was going to be somebody big, especially in my word. And I don't even know how my grandma had vision. So she saw me as a little child and always put me in the front, made me the leader. She told me, I was the fourth grandchild born. And she used to say, the two girls that were older than me, they followed me like soldiers. Like I was the lead. And she said, Chris, they always listen to you. That's my middle name. So I used to say, like, what you mean they always listen to me? She said, Chris, whatever you said, they listened to you, and you were younger than them. Mm-hmm. So my grandma nurtured that in me, knowing that I was going to be a powerful person and knowing that I was going to be a leader. She kept me in my word, always questioned me about the Bible, always pulled me to the side and talked to me specifically and asked, like, how do you interpret this? Can you take this money and go pay my bills? Take this grocery list and go get my groceries for me. Like, she never asked me, could I do it? And I'm going to take that back. Can you? She never said, can you do it? She always said, Chris, do this for me.
Right.
So that's why it seems like I have a fearless attitude. Right. Because I do. And it was deeply rooted in me from birth. And then she just kept on, like, putting seeds on the soil and growing me more and more. So with them being so grounded in who they were, they made me that way. So when you see me, it's not just me that you're seeing, you're actually seeing my grandmother through me, because she was paralyzed from the waist down, but she was a master seamstress and a missionary. She got that way because she got into a really bad car wreck with her friends at 17 years old. Seatbelts weren't mandatory back then. Mm-hmm. And she was the only person to be hurt. Mm-hmm. And she became paralyzed from the waist down at 17. But I exist because she still went to Northern Virginia and learned seamstress. Learned to be a seamstress, a master seamstress. She met my grandfather. He married her. He helped her on the sidewalk every day to go to work because back then they didn't have handicap accessible sidewalks. So he saw my grandma, he fell in love with her, he asked her to marry her. They 7 years of marriage and they end up with 3 daughters. And my mama is the baby of that.
That is a miracle.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
My grandma being such a miracle, she worked every day as a miracle. She sold for Tallheimers and like all of the big department stores back then. She had a storefront just like me, but she was a master seamstress. So people used to come and get their gowns made, their suits made from scratch, tiara, like beaded top to bottom, sequin top to bottom. Like my grandma was amazing, fashionista.
That is super, super dope, man. I really appreciate you sharing, especially this stuff about your grandma. Yeah. And the thing about it is that when I was talking to a girlfriend earlier and I was saying that you were coming on, I was saying about how I love your parents.
Right.
Right? And, you know who? It was our agent and we mutual Tamika, who is an agent with my firm. And I was telling her, and she was like, oh, we talk on IG all the time. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, man, I love her family. Yeah. And she was like, she never met your family. And I was like, but I have. And I was like, your family is so supportive. Mm-hmm. Every time I've seen you, basically, I think it's only been maybe 2 times outside of coming to your storefront that your parents weren't there. Yeah. I mean, and so that just shows that love, that family love is deeply embedded in who you are, and it says a lot about your character and how you move, right? Because you have such a calm spirit, right? And yet there is a seriousness to you that to me implies that you have a good take on what your purpose is. And that you take it real serious.
I take it real serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people see me and they think like, oh, she's so young. I'm not as young as you think I am. Mm-hmm. And even if I were, I'm way more serious than you think I am.
Right.
Simply because my parents, like you were saying, they both have been entrepreneurs my whole life. My dad being a barber and my mom being a hairstylist. They met in hair school. Mm-hmm. So they own their own shop in the same location on High Street for like 15 years. Mm-hmm. So they worked together every day. I always saw togetherness. Mm-hmm. My mother and my father. Like, I really didn't see a whole lot of friction.
Right.
I just saw two people that were very young. My mom had me at 17. Mm-hmm. So that's why I speak a lot about my grandma, because my mom went to work. Mm-hmm. And my dad did too. Mm-hmm. So when we were not with my parents at their shop in the back, we were at my grandmother's house. Mm-hmm. We were never left alone, really. Mm-hmm. And if we were left alone, I was like a teenager by that point.
Right.
So I had so much progress already that my mother knew, like, okay, I can leave Chris with my kids and they're gonna be alive when I come back.
Right.
So, because my grandmother, she just instilled maturity in me very young. Mm-hmm. But she never discouraged me, and she never was like, you too grown or nothing like that, because I wasn't mm-hmm. fast, I wasn't grown, but I was just smart. Mm-hmm. So she was just like always asking me questions and feeding me knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then when I got with my parents, they always were building. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about, they were part of the generation that sat in the Dr. York meetings and on the tapes and all of that stuff, like Louis Farrakhan. My dad, one of my dad's closest friends, he's Cool Breeze, and he used to actually be security for Louis Farrakhan once upon a time. Mm-hmm. So my parents, they are very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. We practice Christianity our whole entire life, and then they branched off and we learned Islam. Mm-hmm. We learned the Quran and we learned Islam. Mm-hmm. But I steady say in my word, I know the word all the way around the world. Mm-hmm. But I'm deeply rooted in Christianity, mm-hmm. simply because I follow my grandmother. My grandma was the most magical woman that I could be around and experience, and right. it was miraculous. Really, it's not magic, it's miraculous. Yes. Because she was deeply rooted in her word, and she knew the power of what she was up against. Yes. Like, my grandma passed in 2020, and she passed away, and then she projected on the family wall, as if it were a projector. Her whole silhouette was on the wall. She came back.
You know what? I promise that is so wonderful an experience, and I think a lot of what you are saying is truly a testament to those familial connections and having a solid upbringing that is actually rooted in the future consistently, right? So it's like, speak of your grandmother who said that you were always a leader. She acknowledged it and put you first. And put you first because you were the natural leader in your sibling group, mm-hmm. right? However, you have her as an entrepreneur, right? Then you have your parents that are entrepreneurs, and they had the support of your grandmother to be able for her to care for you and your siblings while they went and got it and learned to move things forward generationally, right? Mm-hmm. It is those things that make the difference, right? So it's like, you just think about, and I know that even if it's not spoken, that you see all the time, where there are similar beings to yourself in whether it be leadership, whether it be talent, whether it be a myriad of things, and you know that it is their environment and their lack of support that does not allow them to truly become themselves, right? I have I have the daughters. I have my love squad. And one of the things that I look at as their mother is the fact that my friends know this, but I will share this, is that I believe that children are not ours, that they belong to God, and that God gave them to you to honor his intention for their lives until they're adults, right? To just get them through to what being able to acknowledge and see and receive their purpose. And I don't think necessarily that has to be an adulthood. That can be at any time so God deems it, right? However, one of those things that you have to deal with when you know that is how to deal with those different personalities, right? How to nurture those personalities when they're strong personalities, knowing those traits, right? Without squishing them down with what we perceive as discipline or what we perceive is right based on societal norms.
Right.
So for your grandma to have seen that in you and pushed you forward, right? Taking the risk. Because you could have went out there and got knocked down for the money, right?
Yeah.
You could have, because I know you said where you grew up, but you know where I grew up. So you know, it could have easily went a different way. It could have easily been something circumstantial. You could have easily made a wrong choice. She trusted you so young. You say she fostered in you that, and then your parents came right behind as soon as they back in your presence, like, yep, that's right, and just kept lifting you up, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, I appreciate all of this information. It's so dope. So now, with For the People, I know that this is your for-profit business, and I want to be able to tell people a little bit more about your new location.
Okay.
Right? I know that I had the honor of coming to a dinner you had earlier in the year.
Oh yeah, and the community.
Yep, and it was super dope, right? It's super dope, and my kids enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
Anytime Nature can dance, she is gonna have a good time.
Okay.
So, and so many of your events are family friendly.
Yeah.
So we came out to that event, and I want to tell people more about your new location, what you have to offer there, because it's really some dope things going on over there. And then we're gonna come back around to the youth group and to the youth organization so that we can make sure that whoever is looking or can utilize your services, utilize your programs for their youth, or spread that word on what you have going on. So first, let's talk about For the People. What's going on over there? And tell us where it's located.
Okay. So our new location is 618 Effingham Street, Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm in the Old Town area. We built out a brand new building. It was totally empty. It's 3,000 square feet. It has a stage and an event space, a podcast room. It also has a photography space. I have an office in there. We have a really big music studio in there, and then we also have a salon in there. That for-profit space is for you to be able to have your events there, get a membership so you can host your podcast, host your talk shows on the stage, or even bring your clients. Say you're a photographer and you want to bring your clients there. You can have your own membership there and bring your clients over. From one membership, you will receive 8 hours throughout that month. And imagine how much money you can make in 8 hours. Because
I know some people that could use that now.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because photo shoots they're expensive. So if you pay one fee and then you're charging for every 8 hour that you bring somebody in there, that brings money into your pocket. But it also funds our nonprofit. So with that podcast membership, the photography membership, the event space rental, even the studio membership, all of that goes directly into funding the nonprofit, because my hope is to have 30 to 60 youth to have scholarships every 6 weeks at no cost to the parents.
Okay.
That's at no cost or low cost. But my main goal is no cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm soliciting the city, different businesses, sponsorships from just like large and small companies, because all of the money matters.
Yes.
I need a van. I need multiple vans, because I don't want to just service Portsmouth. I would like to service all 7 cities.
Yes.
We're putting together a symphony. We want to have a full symphony. That's 100. I'm working with Virginia's symphony right now. Working on.
Do you all hear this? I just hope, like and subscribe right now if you hear what she's talking about with creating a youth symphony here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, okay?
Yeah.
Like and subscribe if, in fact, you feel like you know someone that can benefit from the services offered at For the People. Now, if this is your first time joining me or ever seeing any of my shows, I just got to stop for 1 second because you should know that Portsmouth is like my favorite city of the Hampton Roads, okay? I love it because it's underestimated just like me. That's why I like it. I just love it. Everybody always, I'm like a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? People be sleeping on me, and Portsmouth over there just shining like a diamond. And I love it over there. It's surrounded by waterways. It's only 27 square miles. Everything else, the entire city is only 50 square miles. That's including waterways. It's the smallest city with the biggest impact, surrounded by water. It's one of the only cities in Hampton Roads that for under $400,000, you can actually get on the water and actually have waterways in your backyard with ducks going by. I mean, and beautiful homes. We're not talking about crap. We're talking about a home that is worth having. One of those ones that you probably have saved on Zillow. So if you're interested in that, you know, I'm a real estate broker. You can always tap in. But I do love Portsmouth. And so for those people that are from here, the locals, they always underestimate it. But I just love the fact that Portsmouth has so much talent, so much amazingness, and this young lady is one of the people pioneering that, okay? She is pioneering that, and she needs help to grow the nonprofit. And it's not about needing help. It's that you should want to help our youth to have better opportunities, because obviously she's a make it happener, okay? Right. Everybody on this show is a make it happener, because winners stay winning. And that's just, even in failure, they just get up and keep going, because that's what winners do, okay? So,
but yeah, that symphony, you sound like Wayne Lynch when you said that about Portsmouth, because we talk about Portsmouth's zip codes, because really we're separated in zip codes, and I'm in one of the wealthiest zip codes in Portsmouth, being in the Old Town area. Mm-hmm. But that symphony is being started by the Donovan Lynch Foundation, and For the People is actually assisting them with it, because it's such a great opportunity for our youth to get involved. I feel like our youth, like you said, I actually went to go see a Prophet Mike on Sunday at Hope City Church in Suffolk. Shout out to Hope City Church. It was their second service, and I was able to attend it. And their pastor is a young guy, and he was being installed that Sunday. So it was beautiful for me to be there. But Prophet Mike came in from Houston, Texas, and he said, you can put a young man with a great heart and a great mind in a community that is totally toxic, and he'll take the weight of the community. That hit me, because a lot of our most talented athletes in this area took the mind frame of their community versus taking the actual mind frame of their talent. Why do children do that?
You know, I think that it is a variety of environmental factors, and the biggest thing for real to me is that love is all, right? And as a parent, and you know this too, is that each child has a different way to be communicated with, yes, right? And when you are living your life in survival mode, and more importantly, a lot of times people are just not evolved, right? Like, a lot of people live their whole lives not realizing that their whole purpose is to grow. A lot of people live their whole lives not understanding that if you are not evolving, you're really not living.
And do you know that those people are the people that are teaching those children?
That's my point. So if your parents never evolve, right? If your parents never choose to heal past their circumstances, past their own childhoods, past their own bad decisions. Like, one of the things that I talk to my daughters about very often is the fact that one of the things that I'm grateful about with the internet is that it gave this generation, these younger generations, the words, right? And it's forced us older generations to have to face and have those conversations. Now, you figure with me, as an intentionally eye-opened and awake person, those things don't hit me in the same way as it would someone that's unable to evolve. Because if you're taking responsibility for your own journey and you know that the children are your responsibility deemed by God, then you have to honor the need in them. That means that each child has to have some sort of dedicated time where you try to figure out how to communicate with them for what is best for them.
Yes.
And how many parents are able to do that? And it's not even because they're bad parents.
No.
It's because they don't have the sacred spiritual knowledge to know that you are made of mind, body, and spirit. And if you don't bring those things together, right, then you're dishonoring the sacred square of life. And that's what it is that you can't, because that is that health, wealth, love, perfect self-expression, right? And if you can't have that sacred square, then how do you do it for your children?
How do you teach them?
You can't.
You can't. So I like that you said that, because a lot of adults are suffering with their own childhood trauma.
Oh, honey, say it.
And with them never forgiving those that caused the trauma, or even forgiving their own mistakes, because you have to grant yourself that grace of, I apologize to myself. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, self, I apologize to you for the mistakes that I have made. Just like you will accept someone else's apology for the mistakes they've made to you, you have to say those things to yourself as well, because it puts you in a situation where you're never forgiving yourself, and you got all this backed up and built up, and then you give birth to these children, and you don't know how to love your children correctly. You might think, I bathe them, I feed them, I take them to school, that's good enough. It's not, because you're not tapping into your emotional side of things.
The mental.
And a lot of children, they miss that part. That's why my conference is called Relate to Me, my youth conference. So I get down to the youth size and I relate to them. Even my camp is called Relate to Me. It's that way, because if I don't relate to that child in the way that they need to be related to, they need to be communicated to, they need to be nurtured, they need to be hugged, they need to be kissed. Everybody is not the same. I went through, we did a test trial of camp, and we had 20 kids that came through. All of those kids need to be loved differently.
And you know what? The thing about it is that one of the hardest things, for any human being is to be accountable if they never learned how to be, right? All them damn participation awards, you know what I'm saying? And all of those, everybody's a winner mindset. And that's just not real. It's not real in that, what I tell people all the time is that the only way through is through. So that means, just like you were saying earlier, is that if you've made mistakes, as we all have, all of us have, the accountability is primarily to you, because it's the biggest killer of Black women is heart disease.
And where do heart disease come from?
Heart disease comes from holding all that stuff in your heart.
Not forgiving yourself.
Not forgiving first.
Other people.
First.
Yeah, because
first. That's first. So you figure that how can we be full to pour into our children, not just women, but men, mothers and fathers, pour into our children if we're unable to be accountable, to feel the feelings and allow ourselves to go through it and heal and have the space to heal.
But that's why you said what you said about social media. Because social media is a bad place if you make it a bad place.
Yeah,
or it could be a learning tool.
It can.
I feel like TikTok has been like one of the biggest places where I've learned so much of my new information that I needed to learn. And all of those different videos on accountability and different videos on forgiveness and just being able to speak to people without speaking to them. Send that to somebody that you feel like you owe an apology to.
Right.
Or you want to learn accountability. You want to teach them accountability, and this is just a slick way of teaching them.
Right.
And they're learning something from this message.
Right. For sure.
I've spoken with my mom about certain things, and she tells me, honestly
Right.
that she learned certain things from social media.
Right.
And that's just because in a certain age bracket, expression wasn't a big thing. You couldn't do it.
Right.
So that's why my son is 15. He's about to be 16 December. I raised him and told him to speak your mind when I'm asking you to speak your mind.
Yeah.
Reason being is because my parents were taught that you're a child, so stay in the child place.
Oh my God.
And guess what? They taught that to us too, but we had leniency because they knew that that was a little too far. So you know how everybody used to get whoopings and yelled at, and the aunts, everybody interfering in the way that you raise your child. My parents really shut that down in our generation. They parented us. It took a village to raise us,
right?
But they didn't allow other people to just parent us the way that in their generation everybody could beat you and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not it, because if you're not teaching your child what they're being whooped for, they are just going to be a disaster.
Right.
They're going to teach whoopings to their children.
Right. And then don't get me started. I don't want to talk about the whoopings.
They're not going to teach the communication part. And I feel like that's where I changed the narrative. Like, I'm the generational curse breaker because I have those hard conversations. We can cry together, but we are going to talk about this.
Absolutely.
And I am going to set my boundary too. And it's simple because I watched my mother set a lot of boundaries growing up. She didn't have a lot of friends. She didn't have a lot of people that we could stay at their houses. She didn't have a lot of that going on. And as I grew up, I realized why you have to set those boundaries.
Right. Absolutely. No, I hear you with that. I mean, for sure. And I think, I always ask, what did I do in another life, to get these 3 daughters? And then I have conversations with young women like you. And when I say young women, you're not that much younger than me, but it's just something that is so youthful about you, right? It's wonderful to see. And it's interesting because in dealing with each of them, right? Those conversations, especially, here's the craziest. Now I have an adult daughter. And so, you think you did that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm mother of the year, every year I'm killing this shit. You know what I'm saying? And she hit like 20, and she was like, "No, son, let me tell you
what you ain't do right.
Let me tell you,
because she part of that generation."
Right, but here's the thing, and the thing about that experience with her and what we went through in that year of us, of her telling me her feelings from her young adult perspective, and me giving her the grace to listen.
Thank you.
Without replying.
Thank you.
And without fighting it, right? Like having to really okay,
that's
own
the
this.
Accountability.
Right, own this. Like whatever that is, own this.
You have a mother. You were raised.
Right, and you figure that I know that there are so many things from that experience that were amazing that I can take and grow from.
Yep.
And there are other things from that experience that I would not take, right? And that's what with any parental relationship I would say. And I am so grateful for her willingness and for my ability to have raised her in a way that she felt comfortable to speak when she did speak. For us to have that conversation because her other sisters are younger. I thank God that she talked to me.
And not somebody else.
Well, not even that. It wouldn't even matter. I wouldn't really see for me because I don't know if that would matter as much as...
I know it would matter. You're a great mom, and you don't want your daughter to go sit at somebody else's table and just talk about everything that happened when she was a child to them.
No, yeah, but it wasn't that much. It wasn't like, it was.
I don't think it was bad.
It was some shit. It was some shit up in there.
But
I'm saying
stuff.
That right. It was some emotional.
I know
it was bad. It was
was.
emotional. It wasn't bad. It was emotional. But what I'm saying is that I'm saying that I am so grateful that she shared because I have other daughters, and it's interesting because she's my daughter born in my 20s, and these daughters are my daughters born in my 30s. And they have a significantly different life because in your 20s you just don't have the knowledge or the coin.
Come on.
You don't have the stability or the oomph in your body, right?
You're
it's not the
grown
same.
enough.
Right.
You
It's
don't
not,
even
it's
know
not
enough.
the same. So it's kind of like, for her to have given me that gift, and that was my point, is that regardless of what she said, whether she said it on the news, right? It's the fact that she said it to me to allow me to feel it, to apologize if there was a need for that, to hug through it, to give her my love, but to also be better for her sisters, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and I do too, and thank you. But I truly appreciate that, and that is important. And I just feel like conversations like these matter because these are winning mindsets, okay? These are what winners stay doing.
Yeah.
The conversations when you intend, because success is only determined by you, right? Everybody has a different level of success. Money is not the barrier to entry on success, right? Freedom to me is. I think freedom is the real determinant of success.
Yeah, I know it is.
Whew.
When you can wake up in the morning and you do what you feel like doing, but it's exactly what you want to do.
Yes,
that's freedom.
Yes, no, for sure.
That's the level of success that I wanted to reach.
Yes.
When I was a child, I never used to say, God, make me a millionaire, make me a billionaire. I used to say, God, give me unlimited funds for the work that you want me to do. And the reason why I used to say that is because I knew I wanted to help so many people. And in order to help these people, I needed unlimited funds. I never could put a number on what I needed. And it wasn't for my own personal gain. Because like you said, it's not about, money don't make you successful.
Yes, for sure.
I know plenty of people, they millionaires, they don't hustle like me. They don't have my mind frame. They will steal my mind frame straight out of my brain and go take it and use it and do all of that because they don't have it, but they have the money.
Right.
Money does not make you successful. No. Your freedom makes you successful.
Absolutely.
Look at your office. Absolutely. Your office is a safe space.
Yes, Lord.
It's freedom within you, who you are.
Yes,
you can literally go into 5 different spaces and be whoever you want to be in all those different scenes, in all those different backgrounds.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Because you're free.
Yes.
I was speaking to somebody and they were saying, I'm free like a slave. Like I just got free. And I'm going to scream from here to there. And they are. They're going to work for the people. Because we need those type of people to understand where we came from, Tia. We came from a place where it used to be black and white. Go through that back door. Go to that bathroom. Don't use that water fountain. No, you can't eat here. That was just a few generations ago.
I know. Oh my God! I know. I just posted something about it.
That was just a few generations ago.
It's so crazy to remember it, especially as the first. You know what? Especially the further you get away from the direct struggle of it all, right? That's one of the things that I can say that I can tell you is that your heart stays with your original intention to help those, right? I know for myself. I know for my firm. Real estate for the people, right? Like everything in me wants to help us, right, to attain wealth through real estate, okay? And the further I get away from where I started, okay, what ends up happening is not my heart has changed. People's perception of my heart is changed. And it's almost like now people that just 10 years ago or 15 years ago would have known I was their people, now look at me like, are you really my people? And I have to quantify that and say, you don't have to explain that to me. You know, do you know how often I have to say to my people, you don't have to explain that to me. That's not even for me. Because what I'm doing is genuine for you. Because so many people are with the intent to judge, to minimize, to shrink, to gatekeep, that it's hard to know if you're not a person that has that energy and that understanding, that a person is really there or your high is good, right?
So
it's hard
much
to discern
going on in this low vibrational world that people don't understand. That those that vibrate high, we rarely come down to vibrate low. We speak the vibrations high. We stay high. We speak in our word. I'm not going to Bible thump you, but I'm going to tell you that it all came from God. It's my Godfidence.
Right.
And if you need me to get my Bible out, I will go through the Bible and give you some good words of encouragement, because that's just what I'm here for. I'm a pillar. Like I'm just the messenger of all of this. So I didn't change, and I was literally just talking about this. Me noticing people unfollowing me online and then following me back. I'm not in confusion. You are. You living in a whirlwind of confusion because you think I changed, all because I'm not posting as much. You're not a part of my private life. See, what happened in this day and time, privacy turned into something that is everybody's business. But that's not privacy. You're allowing people to see your house because you want to show them interior design, but now you have people that are looking into your house and able to think and pray wickedly over the things that you have, become envious over the things that you have at home, the car that you drive, the business that you have, the clothes that you have. They're already vibrating low, and then they see you up high, like on a high, like, what you doing, God? Oh, I ain't doing nothing. You right there. And they like, well, why I can't be up there? You're questioning why you can't be up there, but all you gotta do is get on the same ladder as me.
You know what? I mean, that is for sure. And then, I do think that there, like we've been talking about throughout this conversation, I do think that the internet has given people a fake sort of esteem. I think that the internet gives a fake sort of esteem that allows people to feel as if, just like what you said with the oversharing and the extra information and the all in your space and all of those things. And I just grew up in a different generation.
Me too.
And my parents were extremely private, right? They were just extremely private. And my dad, when he passed, we had like 6 pictures of him. Like he just did not.
So back in the day they used to say you don't take pictures because they used to take pictures of people when they died.
See, and I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was like, it's like they some fly pictures, but it's just like they was like the only ones. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, because I love fashion content. Yeah. I love to, post it. I love those things. So I don't want to be contradictory to the fact that I do love the influence that social media.
We're not saying don't have an influence. We're saying that
protect your
putting people into your private life and oversharing. That is something that makes people think that they're not on the level that you're on. I get content creating and being an influencer. I'm not trying to come up against anybody that's doing that.
Right.
So don't take that.
Right. No, we're not saying that.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes people that are, you don't even know. People believe that they're beneath you already.
Oh yeah.
And then they just look at the internet all day long and just talk about what other people are doing.
I know, but it's weird. And I'm just gonna tell you, you weird for that.
Yeah, you are.
And I just
not liking people because of the hard work that they put into themselves.
I know, but even more than that, it's almost like that kind of goes to everything we've been talking about. Like, I really do. I want to find a solution, even if it's just in small ways, right, to help women with that. I do feel like that it is that there is something like that where you just share too much. Like, I just think it should be like there should be some sort of, like, if everybody, like, I don't know, I just always look at Beyonce and I just say to myself, not about all of her life and all of everything people can say about her. I'm talking about the way that she so strategically curates what you know about her. It's so classic. It's so classy. And I just love that. it reminds me of so many of the people we have admired over the years where you really love them because you don't know much about them. I just feel like I appreciate you more when I don't know all your business. And that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that I appreciate you more when I don't know all your business. There's an artist, local artist, shout out to him. His name is Short Story. You know Short Story? He's a local artist, and he has all of these different beautiful art installations and art that he's done. But one of his, I don't know what you would call it, but one of his presentations is all based around Sanaa, right? Sanaa Lathan. And so when we talked about it, because people that know me know how much I really admire, I just love her, right? And as an actress, and he was saying that one of the reasons that he did so many paintings surrounding her, or the painting installations that he's done surrounding her, is because in all her career, we just don't know nothing about her.
We know nothing
it's just
about
like,
Sanaa.
It's just like we know nothing about her.
Well, I recently learned some information about her, but who's to say that that's true?
No, but that's what I'm saying. And what he was saying is that if you look at her, if you look at her physically, that we have these, you always have these images of the Marilyn Monroes and all of those type of women that they make the icons. But it's like, when you think about it, she's like so unproblematic, right? And you just don't know nothing about her. But it's like every time she opened her mouth, it's good. It's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like all these 30 years we've been watching her. And it's just like he just has this strong belief that she should just be, lifted up in art, represented in art in such a way like we do Marilyn and people like that. And that is what I mean when I say I think about like the Beyonce, right? Is because I just admire people that have the knowledge of self enough to know that it's not your business, and have the confidence to know that their life won't end if you don't know what they got going on.
We dress up every day. We get fly every day.
I know, but
I never take a picture really.
No,
I don't post at all for real.
Let me tell you
I used to post a lot, me opening up the door to all these different businesses, because I used to be a property manager, a car lot attendant, a this, a that. So I just documented my life every step of the way. I had to go through a grief process, and I feel like that grief process was a rebirth of me, because my grandfather passed away, and it just changed my whole. Thank you, and to your father too. It changed my whole perspective of who I was gonna be in life. I just was like, I'm this superstar, I'm this, I'm that. I knew I was, because he always said I was. But at that time of my life, I just said, I'm not about to get away on nothing else.
Right.
I don't need 4,000 likes. I don't need 20,000 followers. I don't care who unfollow me.
Right.
I'll never get back on social media.
Right.
That's how my mind was. Because when you're a natural born leader and an influencer in real life, I feel like social media takes away from who you are in real life, because you're always trying to be something for social media.
Let me tell you something. Last month, for the month of August, I did 30 days of looks, right? Now, this was me shopping my closet. It was a challenge to myself.
Okay.
This was the most exhausting shit. I mean, when I tell you that my camera roll
is crazy.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's like, and it's not even about the looks. Like you said, we look fly every day.
Every day.
It's just cause that's who you are. It is the fact that you got to get the picture.
The perfect look.
I'm talking about
video.
It was like, listen.
That work is hard, ain't it?
Let me tell you something. After the Cousins Fest actually was the last post of August.
Okay.
Honey, I said, I'm so sick of me. Last week, I think I posted maybe twice, right? I mean, I don't know. I admire, I thought I wanted, I was like, I'm gonna start posting fashion. I'm gonna do my fashion.
It was fun.
Oh,
it was fun.
For 15 of the 30 days.
You can tell that those people that are doing that are totally invested in doing it. That is hard work.
It is. I mean, even when I do the fashion content, I got some fashion content coming. Even when I do the fashion content, the amount of prep, right, it takes to pull it. It's not about the clothes. It's not about the accessories. It's not about any. You have all of that. It's the putting it on. It's the making sure that. Oh my God!
Oh Lord, my shirt won't even right. I gotta do this over.
My God!
Like,
Man, that was a good lesson for myself.
yes,
I'm gonna do it again. I don't know when though. You know, like it's just like
it's fun and it's a good way to get engagement, but it's a lot of work. It's a job.
And that's what I'm saying is like it's one thing for me to do my normal real estate content, you know, my little this and that and this. I like to post a little outfit. 30 days? Oh my, that was crazy.
Outfit of the day for 30 days.
Oh man, I did it though.
Crazy.
I did it though. I did it, but man, it killed me, man. I was like, dang. So, but no, definitely. So, I mean, this conversation has been amazing, eye-opening. Got to know so much about you, and as promised, we did talk a lot about For the Youth. However, I know you said that every 6 to 8 weeks, you want to be able to have, what did you say, 40 to 60 or 60 to 80?
30 to 60.
30 to 60 youth that are already prepaid or no cost for the programs. Where, first of all, can they find the programs? And then just a little bit of background on those programs so we can wrap it up, because I know that we have been talking longer than either of us expected, but it's been so good, and I appreciate you so much.
So for the people, inc16.as.me, that is the website that you can visit that will give you all the information on For the People and also For the Youth.
Okay.
For the Youth is expecting to have 30 to 60 youth every 6 weeks in the facility learning audio engineering, producing, writing music, in front of the camera, behind the camera, entrepreneurship, self-confidence. If they wanted to start a podcast, like all of that. They're like, are you still here? But yeah, so that's where you can find us. But the main focus right now is the fundraisers. Every time you see me post, tap into the fundraisers.
Yes.
Whether you're buying a shirt, getting a membership, sending $1, sending $5. This is to ensure that these youth stay off of the streets and they learn about themselves.
Yes.
Like we spoke about, the environment can be totally toxic, right? And it can strip the mind and strip the heart of that youth, and they can grow up and be a terrible individual to society. They won't know what the generational legacy is if they can't spell, if they can't read. We're trying to reteach the parents and the children. Because like Tiara said, we have family events. The brunch that we held together, that was
so good. The food. Please talk about your
my aunt.
Please, we gotta shout her out. Come on, listen.
Sister Soul Cafe in Portsmouth, Virginia. My aunt is
what is that sub? The crab cake, the Philly,
the salmon Philly. So we
thank you for shouting her out.
We always have my aunt's restaurant cater our food.
So good.
It's the best food, and everybody always brags about our food. So shout out to my aunt for her food.
Yes, Lord.
And just keep her in your prayers, because being a business owner is extremely hard. Being in the food industry is extremely hard. Pray for every business owner's mental health, because what we do is extremely hard. And we wake up every day to be a blessing to somebody else. If somebody is feeding you physically and feeding you mentally, they're wanting to be a blessing to you in your life. So shout out to my aunt and every business owner that's doing that. But we have the Relate to Me youth conference that's coming up. When you visit our website, you'll be able to see that. And we have our winter gala that's coming up. That is December 9th. Our winter gala is going to be huge.
Oh yes.
Pay attention to everything that we drop on our Instagram, For the People INC, and you can follow me at Queen's Grind Harder. I'm always posting in my story every day. I normally post a scripture every day in my story and explain the scripture as well, because a lot of times, I hate to say it, but the original saints have passed away, right? And then we have all of these people that will not even take the position, but I assume the position.
All right.
And I'll hold my hands
That's
up
powerful.
high because this is a temple for God's word to work through. And then I decided to stop keeping it so private and to give it to y'all because I have it to give, and I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have it. See, that's confirmation. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have it. I do have it, and I'm going to give it to you as it was given to me. But be attentive.
Man, I am so grateful.
Thank you. Me too.
I am super, super grateful. Man. Oh, thank you, God. This is so cool. And you guys are not here. You don't feel the energy in this room. The intention for this, I stated earlier, is just to bring on people I admire. I never know people want to have a idea of what I'm going to say, but that's not how I interview. That's not my interview style. I like to have real conversations with people that I trust, that I thank and am so thankful that trust me to know that I'm not going to put them in a position to even be asked anything out of character. This is a classy show, be classy. So to have the energy of the spirit of this young lady in this room and the spirit of God all around this office, because this is God's house anywhere I am, anywhere I walk, we are covered. Love is all. And so just to have this energy in this moment is just so great. Queen, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
I do have an interview. I have an interview with Wavy TV 10.
Okay.
An old interview that aired a while.
Okay.
It aired in January, but I have a new interview coming up on the 12th of this week.
Okay.
So you all can catch me on Wavy TV 10. You'll be able to see my new building. If you haven't visited, because they're going to tour the building.
Oh,
and Katie Cullett is going to interview me all over again.
Right, and then depending on when this episode comes out, first of all, everything that she mentioned is going to be linked below, like all our guests.
Good.
All her information, all her hashtags, all her contact, all those things. It's the least I can do, okay? I want to make sure that when you come on, you know that it's genuine, that I want us both to be able to get our whatever it is we just shared out, right? Yeah. And so I want people to be able to reach you, makes me happiest to see other people reaching their goals. And so
I came here because I asked you to help me with my brunch, and you did it. When you created I told you what I wanted my people to know how to do.
Oh yeah, bossy.
I wanted them to be able to become a homeowner in 1 year, and then you created a map.
Yep.
And everybody still has the map.
Yep. And that map actually, I had been working on that map, but then you figure that between that with the other resources and everything, that map still sits up there. It's like a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal. And I love that map.
Me
and
too.
I'm so happy that we have that, that we have that to help people, to have that resource. I appreciate you coming for that. I would have came anyway because real recognize real. And from the moment I met you though, and like I said, I meant that.
True.
Like it's like
when you came to the store, we didn't even know each other. We talked for so long.
I know because
we did. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, we talked for a very long time.
We did, because the thing is that real recognize real, and also I am a person that it doesn't matter how young or old the message is coming. If I feel like it's something genuine to be heard, God has taught me how to listen. God has taught me how to discern and protect my energy. And when a conversation is worth having and a relationship is to be built, it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, just like I said at the beginning of the interview, it's like I know you and I don't know you. And I love that about you, right? What you know about me is that no matter how long you stay away, I'm here. That I'm going to be here, right? Because that's just how I am with the people that I love, the people I care about. So you know that. Like, I'm a support no matter what. Whenever you pop back up, you see me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you did come to my event in January. I was missing for like a year.
Right.
Basically.
I mean, and that's
I was working on my business.
I mean,
so
it's fine. Listen, the thing is, I have friends, I'll tell you why I'm like that. It's because, I'm not from here. And I have friends that I am still very, very, very good friends from all the way in elementary school, right? Elementary, middle school. I have lived in 3 different states, and my close friend group is made up of women all over the world that I went to school with or grew up with in some capacity in my life, right? So here in Virginia, it took me a while to meet women that were actually reflective of the totality of who I might be. And interestingly enough, it is a even split between young ladies that are either 10 to 15 years younger than me or my age and older, much older.
Me too. I got friends that's 65 years old.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and you know, one of the things, you know, everybody knows how I love Erica, and she says that like a lot of her albums she wrote for your generation and the generation behind you, right? Your generation, I more resonate with because you're not haters. You're not as much of haters.
We don't care that you look fly. We love that.
But do you
we love that. But you get around these other people, they're like, well, why she dressing like that? We 40 years old. Like, what? You ain't. My parents always say you only old as you act.
Right, and see, and that's the thing. It's like, but it's not just that, because I don't want to say, like I said, I have all types of friends and colleagues and girlfriends and all of that, right? Because I'm, you know, at the same time, it's just like, I just resonate more with people that are more enlightened. And it doesn't matter what age they are. It's about enlightenment. It's about being able to talk on a certain level. Like you said, operate on a higher vibration. And that's what it is. And you know, it's no age for that. It's no age for that. I've had long conversations with a 9-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
Right. So it's like,
my niece, she's 10 and she can go and
right.
she know a lot. And my son 15, he knows a lot.
I know. And in my nature, that 6-year-old, she is.
I believe it. She can go.
So,
she your child? No.
Yeah, so she definitely, I mean, Elijah too, nature is just, you know, so that's what I'm saying. I feel like that, you know, at any age, you know, you can be enlightened and be able to have and hold conversation of a higher level. So
one thing I want to say before we get off this, you keep bringing up everybody. So I got to do it to you. Like, we were at the Porcelain Pavilion, me, my mama, all her sisters, and one of my good friends, Terry, and my dad.
Okay.
So we went to the concert this one year. This is when I first moved back from Atlanta.
Okay.
And my friend, he called me, he was like, you have just won tickets to Erica Badu concert, 4th seat, or whatever. He was joking, but it was serious. He bought the tickets for him and somebody else. The girl backed out or whatever happened, so I ended up going.
Right.
So Erica was like, everybody move to the front if you back some. So my family actually ended up moving up into the seats.
Okay.
So after the show, we ran into them, and my aunt, she touched me on the back. It's my mom's older sister. So she touched me on the back, and she was like, take me to backstage, because she know, like, I lived in Atlanta. I met everybody and worked with so many people. Right. Anybody that was popping at the time, because that's the nature of Atlanta.
Right.
You just out there on the sets.
Right.
So she like, take me backstage. I'm like, girl, I ain't never been backstage yet. And she was like, take me backstage.
Right.
So we walking. Of course, I'm not one to walk with the crowd. So the crowd walking this way, and then something in me was like, walk this way. Nothing with God. God was like, walk that way. So I was like, cool. I started walking the other direction. We get to this gate, and the man was like, we need 10 more people to do a meet and greet with Erica Badu. And my aunt and everybody is right there. My friend Terry. Terry, the 10th person, and it's me. I'm number 11. I never forget this. So my aunt, you know, they were like, no, if anybody got to go back there, it needs to be Queen. She got to go back there. So the man looked me up and down. He ended up being everybody wrote me. He looked me up and down. He was like, come on, princess, come back here. So I'm the last person to go back there. It's like at least 100 people in this room. So I pull a chair from the table. I sit about right here. She's sitting with a computer at when she come in. And everybody in there is doing what they do. Oh, you look so beautiful, doing all that regular stuff. Girl, you know me and this lady built for that entire hour. It was like 4 people sitting right here. We just kept building, back and forth, bouncing. And when it was time to leave, I was like, Lord have mercy, I don't have nothing further to sign. I'm gonna remember this moment because people in, but I need something. So I took out a $20 bill and she signed it. Stuck it in my wallet. Then God was like, sing to her. Because I got this song called Green Eyes. Right. So I just started singing it in her ear. She put her hands in my hand and she said, see y'all later. And just walked out with me. Took me right to the back. let me meet all her backup singers, just put me in the moment and just start talking to me. She was like, how am I find you again? And I'm like, this my social media, this me and all this stuff. And she was like, cool. I posted her one time. She came right through and liked it because I was like, I'm looking at this $20 bill Erica had to sign for me. Like, this give me so much power.
Right.
And she just slid through and liked it. Like, this was a lot of years ago. Like, I've always been like this.
Yes.
Like, with everybody. But to meet certain people that my parents and my family put on a high for real, that was a spiritual goddess around our time and all of that.
Right.
Like, just... she was just the one, you know what I'm saying? So that was an experience that I got to share with my family, and from that point on, they just like, who you meet this time?
Oh my God,
who you gonna be around this time?
Though.
Like, yeah,
that is absolutely beautiful.
That's aunt for real.
Oh no, that's a beautiful experience. That's a beautiful experience. Me, on the other hand, I'll save that story for another time. Point is that I love Erica. I love Erica. She is my girl. And no, I do love her. You know, I'll never miss her show. So I really think...
There's a lot of people that will never miss.
No, I'll never miss her show. I never miss her show. I went to Birthday Bash. I'm going back this year coming. It's like, oh my God, it's so good in Dallas. You know that. It's so good. But anyway, you figure that, yes, Erica... I mean, all of those experiences just show that you... I mean, it's not even about you are who you say you are, because you present as that. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
and guess what? When she was when I was like, what's up, Queen? Like that. And she was addressing everybody, but she didn't call one person in that room Queen. My hands are God, just me.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is that it's like that. That's how you are.
We can pick it up.
That's just who you are. It's who you are. It's just a beautiful thing. It's one of the reasons, again, why I just wanted you to come on the show, because this also will give people a different side of you. Right? This is a different side of you.
Yeah, because I don't talk that much.
Right. You are much softer, more relaxed. Yeah. And I just appreciate you opening up for our viewers. I hope you guys really, really... This is a dope episode. Man, look, if you haven't subscribed by now, okay? You need to subscribe. And also, I got a shout out. So y'all see, I wore these glasses for the whole time. Okay, hold on.
And they are flat and so they fold.
They fold.
Oh my God.
So I had to wear these, okay? Because my homegirl, my good friend, is the owner of Pink Elephant, okay? Shout out Pink Elephant. These come in this color, and they come in clear. And they fold. And so I wore them. Yes, I wore those for the whole episode.
Don't forget they got the diamonds.
I'm talking about, baby. They is crazy.
These are crazy.
They are.
And the Queen love her some good
I'm talking about, don't worry, we're going to get you a pair. I want the clear ones. All right, we're going to get you a pair.
What a Pink Elephant? Where is
she? She's online, but she lives in China. And she actually takes people to China.
This girl lived in China.
Yes.
We got to go see her.
Yes, my homegirl.
We got to go see her.
She's over there in China, and she teaches people how to, like, she takes people over there to meet directly, like, the producers.
The manufacturer.
Every kind of manufacturer. She do every day. She do hair. She don't do nothing. Like, she's a designer. She designs clothes and boots and shoes and glasses and stuff like that. But she takes people over there to meet with manufacturers. Like, she does the trips. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, I want to meet her.
Yeah,
I want to go
over there
China.
living in China, girl. And I be ordering her stuff all the time.
I can't wait to get
she like, girl. That's why I want Pink Elephant. This is for you, baby. Yes. That's for you, girl. Yes. So thank you so much, Queen, for joining. Listen, you guys, as you know, I'm not giving up. I'm not letting up. Flawless Living Made Simple will continue to explore the winning mindsets of those I know and admire near and far. I appreciate you so much for joining me again today. And wherever you are, you have an amazing and blessed day. Thanks so much for watching.
Yes.
Bye.
And keep God first.
Absolutely.
You got to get your jingle.